Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you a very simple and easy shaker card. They're a lot of fun because they have a little movement to them. So you can see by this one, it's a winter scene outside of a window, and that window actually does shake around and make for snow, but then it also piles up onto the window frame. And I love this technique, and I think you're going to be shocked how easy it is. So to begin with, I used the stamp set Happy Scenes from Stampin' Up, and this does have a framelit set that goes with it. It's the window and the windowsill. And just a quick to show you how I store my framelits is they come with this in this nice little pocket with this piece of chipboard, and I pull those framelits off, and then I add a piece of magnetic sheet. And this is actually magnetic sheet. They're called heat vent covers, and they're sold at Home Depot or Lowe's or any of the hardware stores. They come in pretty good sized sheets, and I just cut them down to size, attach them right back onto that chipboard, and then my framelits will actually hold onto that magnetic, and I can see exactly when I file them away what's in that pack. So there's just a really quick tip there. So to begin with, I am using a card base of Whisper White, and this was a half a sheet, so it's it was 8.5 by 11, cut at 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then folded in half, and that gives me my base. And then I'm using a piece of this Designer Series paper from the Season of Cheer Designer Series paper, and it's actually a Christmas pack, but you will notice when you look at the paper, some of it is very Christmassy and some of it is not. It can be used year-round, and so I'm actually using this piece because it kind of reminded me of a nice piece of wallpaper, and I wanted that window to look like it was looking outside, inside the house looking out. And so I cut this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4, and that's just going to lay on there to give me my base. And then the rest of that is put together with a few other little pieces. I've got a Night of Navy that I'm going to cut my window out with. I've got a window sheet from Stampin' Up that I'm actually going to use as my window. And then a piece of shimmery white cardstock. Because I'm doing a little watercoloring on this project, I love our shimmery white cardstock for watercoloring because it has a little coating to it, and so things work really well and it holds up to water. So I'm using the shimmery white, and I've actually cut this at 2.5 by 3 1/4, and this is going to layer right behind that window frame. Same size as my window sheet for the window. You'll see they're the same size, and so those will layer nicely right behind the window framelit. And then the big deal that I'm using is a piece of fun foam. This is how I make my shaker cards now, and I love it because it's, number one, it's easy, but it holds up well when you mail them. So to begin with, I am going to show you how I cut the framelit. So I'm going to come in with my Big Shot. I probably shouldn't have had all this stuff in the way to begin with. Let me zoom out here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I've got my platform and a clear base, my piece of fun foam, and then I'm coming in with the framelit. And the framelit, because the fun foam is thin enough and it's, you know, it'll squish down, you can use your framelits to cut out your shapes. So I love that about that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and run this through the Big Shot. I didn't really leave myself a whole lot of room here, so I'm going to move this out of the way. But when I come back with that piece of fun foam, here's the window shape cut out for me. And I can tell I need to clean my clear plates a little bit. So once I've got that cut out, this is going to be the base for my shaker card. So let me go cut a few more shapes. I'm going to cut another window, and then I will get ready to put it together and show you how easy that is. I'll be right back. So I cut that other window sheet, so you can see that I have just a Night of Navy window, and then the fun foam, and then the piece of window sheet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with our tear and stick tape. I love this tape because it's such a great adhesive. But the best part is that it's so easy to use. I am going to go ahead and lay this down on that window all the way around. And once I've got that laid down, I'm just going to go ahead. It's great because these just pull right off. So I'll pull that off. And then I'm going to make sure that I don't have any adhesive onto the inside of these windows, so I'm just going to try to push it if there's any there. It's not terrible. And then I'm going to lay down my clear window sheet right over the top of that whole thing. Easy way to give yourself and make a window. So even just doing that looks great. And then if you had an image behind there, it would look fabulous. But the next thing I'm going to do, once I've done that, then I'm going to attach this piece, again, using my tear and tape. And then again, any of this, it's like this adhesive that came over, just fold it back over into the inside of the back of the window. And once you've done that, then you're going to take your fun foam. And the one thing that I did do on this other one, because I wanted those windowsills to have a little snow in them, I took my snail and ran it down the middle of my, you don't want to warp it, you don't want to make it too misshaped, but add a little adhesive to the inside of your windows there. And then this piece is actually going to get laid, and then it's just a matter of lining them up. Probably the hardest part of the whole project. Just get those lined up. And the one thing I did notice when I did this, it's nice because you can manipulate that fun foam behind there and make sure that you got them straight and that they're attached. One thing I did notice when that fun foam goes through the Big Shot, I think it stretches a little bit, and so this side happens to be just a little bit bigger. Sure, it has something to do with how it goes through the machine, but I just took a scissor and just trimmed that up. It's not terrible, and it probably wouldn't show up in the project to begin with, but I just like to clean it up. So there is your window frame. We'll set that aside. I'm going to come in with my shimmery white cardstock. I've got adhesive all over my paper here, but that's all right. And my image. So I'm using the tree with the little cardinals or little birds. And I'm going to stamp this down on this piece of cardstock. I love this archival black ink because it's such a nice black and it works great for watercoloring. And I'm actually going to come in with a little bit of soft sky. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some of that soft sky. And again, starting at the bottom, I'm just putting just a little shadow of a sky. Not a lot, just giving it a little bit of color. And again, right over that tree, and it won't matter because of that archival ink, that's not going to smear. That permanent ink. That's it. I just wanted to add just a little bit of color. We're going to let this dry for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so one of the things you can do to get your cardstock to dry quicker is you can just heat set it with a heat tool, or you can just set it aside to dry. But once that's done, I'm just going to come in, and I wanted my birds to be red, so they really popped and showed up. And then here's where the magic starts. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip over this piece, and we're going to add, again, that tear and tape. And I might even go with just a little bit more adhesive along the bottom of these windows, and that is to help contain the glitter that I'm going to use for snow so that it stays in that section. So then we're going to pull these off. Once I've got that all pulled off, here's where the magic starts. So this is Dazzling Details. This is what the container looks like when we get it. This is actually how I store my Dazzling Details. I've had this Tupperware container probably since the first year I was a stamper. But when you open this up, this is where I also carry my little 1/4 teaspoon spoons. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that Dazzling Diamonds and drop them into each window like that. And really it depends on how much snow do you want. A lot or a little? Put a little more in here. And once I've got that done, it's ready. So I'm going to take my stamped image. I'm actually going to flip it over and attach it to my window and seal it all up, making sure that all that snow stays inside there. That's how you make the shaker card. That's it. I mean, it's not very hard, and I love it with the fun foam. Then I'm just going to take a little adhesive, attach it to the front of my cardstock here, and then attach this to the front of that. And I'm actually probably just going to use, I mean, you could use the tear and tape. I'll just use snail because it's easy and it's sitting here. And attach that to the front of my card. And then I've got a really cute shaker card, and that snow will pile up right on those windowsills. And it's just fun to play with. So there you have it. It's very cute. It's very easy. Oh, the last thing I did is I actually came in with one of the stamps from the Happy Scenes stamp set. This one says Happy Winter. And I'm going to stamp that right down there. And there you have it. Happy Winter card is done. And the nice thing is that that is flat enough that that will go right through the mail with no extra postage. You may want to just put a piece of cardstock or something so that this doesn't catch it, but it should go right through the post office with no issues. So I'm going to post a list of all the supplies I used. You are welcome to visit my website where you can sign up for my newsletter. It's at www.DDStamps.com. And my newsletter goes out each week with tips, tricks, and techniques using Stampin' Up! Product. So thank you, and I hope you have a great day.